New Jersey's Governor Christie is hitting the campaign trail in New Hampshire today after becoming the 14th Republican to enter the race for the White House. He made it official at his old high school gym in Livingston, New Jersey, and I caught up with the governor exclusively as he prepared to make that announcement. When we got together in April, you told me you hadn't decided, hadn't made up your mind. What got you from that moment of not deciding to this moment of getting ready to go out there and say I'm running for president?
Two things. First, in my heart, I really felt ready. Felt like I had something I could contribute to make the country a better place and to change the world. And the second part was these guys are ready. And that was the other thing. You know, they're ready. And if I didn't have both of those, I couldn't go out and do this, but I do.
So Team Christie, every show of hands, everybody's in on this? You're all ready for it?
Yes.
You're going to step out onto a stage here, Governor. You went to high school here. You were class president here 3 years in a row. You think it's going to be emotional?
Very. Yeah, I mean, you know, I love this place. This place helped to make me who I am today. It was the place my parents wanted to bring us to give us the best chance we could to have the most success in life. And I have so many friends here who I love so dearly that's why I wanted to be here. And so, yeah, it'll be very emotional for me.
I am proud to announce my candidacy for the Republican nomination for President of the United States of America.
It's been a long journey, Governor, to this announcement. Back in 2012, a lot of your fellow Republicans really urged you to run, and you declined. And some of those Republicans now look and go, that was his moment. Do you worry that you can't capture that genie and put him back in a bottle?
No, because here's the most important thing. In 2011 and 12, I was not ready to be president. And you don't run just because you think you can win. You have to think you can win and that you're ready to do the job. And I wasn't ready, Matt.
You said to me on a couple of occasions that in your opinion, a governor should get the nomination because governors have been accountable for running a state. So what sets you apart from a guy like Scott Walker and Jeb Bush and Mike Huckabee and Rick Perry?
Well, I think what sets me apart is the state where I come from. I mean, this is hand-to-hand combat every day. And it's a Democratic legislature who's fighting you all the time, who you have to learn how to bring in and to craft compromise. And in red states, they don't have a lot of experience in doing that, Matt. I know how to do that.
For all your talk about compromise, though, you have a mixed bag of reaction in this state. You know, I drove into your event today, and I drove past a pretty hefty group of protesters. I think a lot of them were teachers, and they were holding up signs that said liar and bully.
The fact is that we got to make these hard decisions, and I don't shy away from it. So that means you're going to have some people who protest and who are angry.
When this country elected Barack Obama as president 6 years ago, history was made. He became the first African-American president in U.S. history. And yet, if you look at this country today, you could argue that it is as racially divided and racially tense as it has been in decades. So if Barack Obama couldn't help bridge the racial divide, how can President Christie?
You know, I've learned here in my state, which is the most ethnically diverse state in the country, that the first way to do it is to show up in all those places and to listen. You know, for instance, when the tragedy happened in Charleston, African-American ministers in my state called and said they wanted to have a prayer service. And I went on Father's Day and sat with African-American ministers and members of their congregation and spoke very clearly about racism. That racism is the cause of what happened in Charleston.
But so did the president. The president went down and eulogized Reverend Pinckney.
I don't think he's really listening, Matt. I think he goes and he talks, but he doesn't listen. You look at a place like Camden in our state, where the murder rate in the last 2 years is down 55%. You know who showed up a few weeks ago? The president, to say what a great job was going on in Camden.
When President Obama came to office, there was all that talk about hope and change. And there was all that feeling of inspiration. You can decide how it worked out 6 years later. What could you do to inspire this country, a country that seems desperate for inspiration?
First off, by telling them the truth. I think they think all too often politicians just tell them the version of the truth they think will sell that day. I've never been accused of that, so I'm going to tell the truth as I see it.
You know, a lot of the pundits are going to weigh in about his chances to win or not win. But when you sit in that gym with him yesterday and you watch him go 35 minutes without a teleprompter and with just a couple of notes on a podium and watch him in that crowd, that part of Chris Christie is very impressive.
I think that's what everyone acknowledges. He's got great political gifts. Whether that will be enough to distinguish him in this very crowded field, we shall see.
Crowded indeed.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.